Welcome to this video about math placement and waiver exams at AUP. In this video, you will learn about math requirements and courses at AUP, the various waiver and/or placement exams available to you, how to take the exams, and when and how you will be able to view your exam results. There are 3 math exams available depending on your needs, including the Quantitative Reasoning Math Waiver exam and the Algebra and Pre-Calculus Placement exams. We will explain each of them in detail here. All degree-seeking students at AUP must satisfy the Quantitative Reasoning Math requirement as part of the core curriculum program at AUP. The quantitative reasoning component of our core curriculum at AUP is required for all students because we want to be sure that you are not afraid to approach problems quantitatively. The quantitative reasoning requirement may be fulfilled in one of 3 ways. 1, take the QR Math Waiver exam before orientation and place out of the requirement with a sufficiently high score. 2, take and pass an approved math course at AUP. Those are courses with a course type CCM. Or 3, for transfer students, successfully transfer in a math course that receives a quantitative reasoning equivalency. Again, course type CCM. Transfer students who are not certain as to how their credits will be articulated are encouraged to go ahead and take the waiver exam now. AUP policy with respect to placement and waiver information is to always apply what is in the greatest benefit to the student. So for example, if you take the waiver exam and do not score high enough to place out of the quantitative reasoning math requirement, but then you eventually transfer in a course that gets the CCM course type equivalency, that course transfer will override the waiver exam result, and your quantitative reasoning math requirement will be fulfilled. The exams last 1 hour. It's multiple choice, and there are no calculators allowed. You can only take the QR math exam 1 time. Only first-year degree-seeking and transfer students will have access to the quantitative reasoning math waiver exam, as they are the only ones who will need it. Moving on to the algebra placement exam. For students in certain majors, math courses beyond the requirements of the core curriculum may be necessary. Some examples include business, economics, and computer science. In these cases, students may wish to take the algebra placement exam to see if they can bypass the algebra prerequisite in AUP's math stream and head directly into statistics or functions, modeling, and pre-calculus. Students may then also wish to take the pre-calculus placement exam to see if they can bypass the pre-calculus prerequisite and move immediately into Calculus 1. Both of these placement exams are also available before orientation online, and they are available to first-year students, transfer students, and to first-year abroad students from USC, Tulane, and George Washington University. If you aren't sure what exam to take, make sure you're watching your email, because for some student cohorts, we will send you special information. In addition, for some students, there will be information right there in your checklist. Otherwise, you're welcome to ask your admissions counselor. Degree-seeking first-year and transfer students must have quantitative reasoning waiver information. If you don't have it already, you should take the quantitative reasoning math exam. This is the most important for you. If you aren't sure about the algebra and pre-calculus exams, they can wait. First-year abroad students, especially USC Trojan Transfer Plan students, should keep in mind that if you did not meet USC's minimum high school math requirement, which includes mastery of Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2, you must take either Applied Statistics or Pre-Calculus while at AUP. Students who plan to attend the Marshall School of Business at USC must take Calculus 1 before leaving AUP. If you fall into these categories, it will be in your best interest to take the algebra and/or pre-calculus placement exams. Moving on to actually taking the exams. When you're ready to take an exam, you will find everything you need on your pre-arrival checklist. Information about math waiver and placement exams appears in the section of your checklist called Register for Classes. Navigate to this section, and you will find some general information, the link to this video, and information about how to take the exams. Notice that for each exam, there is a link you can click on that will open a technical guide for how to install Respondus and how to navigate to the correct exam on Blackboard. These guidelines include a link to a brief video about Respondus so you can understand how it works, and a link to download and install Respondus on your computer, which you must do. Once you've installed Respondus, you should launch the program first, and then open Blackboard and log in with your AUP credentials. Concretely, this means that after you install Respondus, you will begin by opening the Respondus program on your computer, and then within that program, you will have the option to open Blackboard and proceed from there. When you arrive on the Blackboard homepage, look for the section on the right labeled My Courses. This is where you will find links to the 2 or 3 waiver and/or placement exams that you have been given access to depending on your needs. Click on the link for the Blackboard exam site that you plan to take. There is a menu on the left called Trial Exam. There, you will find a very important trial exam. We strongly recommend that you launch a trial exam before attempting the actual math exam. This is to ensure that your technology is functioning properly and that you understand how it works. Please note, these trial exams are not real exams. They're simply an opportunity for you to test out Blackboard and Respondus and ensure that everything's working properly and you are confident. Once you've tested out the technology and you're satisfied that everything is working well, you are ready to take the actual waiver or placement exam. In the menu on the left, you will see an item called either Quantitative Reasoning Test, or Proctored Algebra Test, or Proctored Pre-Calculus Placement Test, depending on which exam you are taking. Click on this menu item to find the actual exam. Before you begin the exam, ensure that you are prepared to work in a calm and focused environment with a stable internet connection for 1 hour. If you find you're having any technical issues, check the last section in the technical guide. There's information on troubleshooting Respondus and Blackboard there. Please note, for the math waiver and placement exams, Respondus is set up to use both Lockdown Browser, meaning you will not be able to navigate away from the exam window, and Monitor, meaning you will be required to have a functioning camera on and pointed at you for the duration of the exam. This is to ensure academic integrity, to ensure that you are the person taking your exam without any outside assistance. If Respondus flags a possible discrepancy with your exam, and upon review, AUP faculty and administration are unable to establish a certainty of academic integrity, you may be asked to retake the exam. Please keep in mind that all exams auto-submit after 1 hour, so pay attention to your time. All right, that wraps up the explanation for how to take the exam. Let's move on to the last section of this video about timing and receiving your results. Please keep in mind the placement section of your checklist will remain available until August 27th. The placement section and your access to take the exams on Blackboard using Respondus will close on August 27th at midnight Paris time. It is in your best interest to take any needed exams as soon as possible, however, and exam results should be available for you within 3 business days. Once your placement exam results are available, you will be able to view them on your AUP transcript. You can find your AUP transcript and many other useful things on your AUP student portal. To get to your student portal, type student.aup.edu aup.edu in your web browser and log in with your AUP credentials. Once you're logged in, take a look at the menu in the column on the left. Find the menu item called My Transcript and click on it. This will open an unofficial version of your AUP transcript that you may consult at any time. And this is where your math waiver and placement results will appear. The easiest way to read these results is by looking at the course name field. This table summarizes the possible results for each of the exams. As you can see, for each exam, there are 2 possible results. For the quantitative reasoning waiver exam, the 2 results are CCM not waived, placement into MA 1005 CCM, and CCM waived, MA 1005 equivalency. The first result means the student did not succeed at placing out of AUP's core curriculum quantitative reasoning math requirement and will need to take a math course at AUP coded CCM to fulfill degree requirements. The second result indicates that the student has succeeded in placing out of AUP's core curriculum math requirement. In addition, the result indicated that the student ultimately, if they do need to take a math course as part of their major requirements, for example, they are able to enter the AUP math stream at the level of MA 1020, statistics. For the algebra exam, the first result indicates that the student did not successfully place out of the algebra requirement. This means that if the student needs to take a math course that has algebra as a pre or co-requisite, including statistics and functions, modeling, and precalculus, the student will be required to take that algebra course. The second result indicates that the student has successfully tested out of algebra and can move on to courses with algebra pre or co-requisites without taking an algebra course. Finally, for the precalculus exam, the first result indicates that the student did not successfully place out of the precalculus requirement. This means that if the student needs to take calculus, the student will be required to take functions, modeling, and precalculus as a course first. The second result indicates that the student has successfully tested out of precalculus and can move straight on to Calculus 1 without taking a precalculus course first. It's ideal that you take your exams as soon as you can so that you register into the proper math course at the time of registration. However, if you end up taking your exam after you get registered and you eventually need to adjust your registration to match your placement results, don't worry. The registrar and the ACE Center will take care of you and ensure that you end up in the proper courses before the semester begins. We look forward to seeing you soon in Paris and at AUP. Good luck with your exams, and we'll see you soon.